Hello, I'm Lawson Bracewell. I'm an esoteric astrologer, and I'm also a teacher of the Ageless Wisdom teachings, and my primary interest is in understanding the flow of consciousness through a human personality. So what I'm doing in a series of astro dramas is dramatizing each one of the signs. The individual in that sign is at first simply a personality, quite oblivious to the soul and its attempts to control and develop the vehicle, the personality. Then I'm going to make a gesture, and what I'm going to indicate is that the soul is now partially in control of the person, and they're leading a more conscious life. There's a conflict going on between an old pattern and their current realization of a sense of service and purpose in the life that is far more creative than what they were doing. Then I'm going to do the same gesture again, and I'm going to indicate someone who, in that sign, is now fully aware that they are a soul, and in some ways they've become a planetary citizen. In this particular one, I'm doing the sign of Virgo. No matter what I do, the last shift that I was on, I had everything arranged. The beds were in straight lines. Now, everything is out of order. You know, there's no way that you can do good work when you're living in chaos. I'm telling everyone around me, use your heads. Think about it. There are systems that can be put in place. I think all illness comes from untidiness. I see it. It isn't just here on the ward. It's at home. It's my neighbors. Everywhere I look, people simply leave messes. Or they're just unaware of their faults. Like my husband. How many times have I told him to put the seat down in the toilet? He never remembers. No, I don't want to go there. Back to my ward. When I'm here, I feel as if I'm running a good ship. What can you do with people, though? It comes down again to the fact that the patients, how did they get here? It was their fault. I have no sympathy for these fat people. They deserve the health problems they're having. I don't know why people can't just pull themselves up and, exercise restraint. Certainly I do. If anything, I worry too much. I can't stop thinking, well, what would happen if my daughter got pregnant? Or my son did drugs? I'm trying to sort of keep it all together, and I'm trying to get them to think about things the way that I do. I'm really a kind person. I wouldn't be in the nursing profession if I wasn't a kind person. I just like everything to be tidy. I just like it to be in order. And I like my food to be, well, like they make here in the hospital. The dietitian has it all planned out. It's good, solid food. People are always going picky, 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 picky. They don't like this, they don't like that. I think people should feel grateful for what it is that they get. Yeah. I think the turning point for me in my life came when I got cancer. I actually had to spend time on a hospital ward. And I watched, the different kinds of people the different kinds of nurses and doctors and people that were caring for people. And I think the most inspiring person was, on the ward that I was on, there was a charge nurse, and the ward was just wonderful. Everything ran perfectly, just like I had wanted it to run. I couldn't at first figure out how she did it, because it was like she was just sending out waves of, "You're okay, you're okay, you're okay," to the doctors, to the nurses, to the patients, and everyone was lifting their game. And somehow their time in the hospital was shorter. And you know, it was a horrible experience going through chemotherapy and all of that. But I felt that was a really turning point in my life. For one thing, it gave me a real compassion for the other people who were there. They were suffering a lot more than I did, and of course some of them didn't make it in their suffering. It sent me on a whole quest to try and understand the whole interrelatedness of our emotions, our thoughts, our spiritual life, the air we breathe. And I developed a holistic model. And my life has been partly running a training school for people who want to become involved at various levels of helping other people to heal. Really, life is just about healing. We began to heal the day that we're born, and death itself is the great healing. But I also have a private practice, and it's quite commonsensical, really. Most of the things we've just forgotten about. They were things according to folklore and according to our mothers. I've written a book in which I describe the way of nature and the way of simple inner nourishment that can come from positive thoughts and service to other people. Those are the best remedies. And then it all expanded out. And I started traveling the world and was picked up by the World Health Organization. I guess I'm now looking really at the health of the planet and how we relate to nature, how we relate to each other, how we relate to the evolving entity that this planet is. So much is improved when you have that inner perspective on life, and you know that we're just specks, tiny cells in the body of a great being. I think the main thing that happened to turn me around was a realization that I came to where I realized there was nothing but love. And that we lived within a solar system where love was the keynote. I felt it. It was a real experience as my heart was ripped open. I was in a very impoverished part of Africa, and there was a drought, and just going into the camps and seeing people dying. That was the point at which I realized that it wasn't about a particular place. It was about world health and changing all of the systems that give us a sense that we are responsible for all of it. Not only do we aid in the healing of the planet, but the planet heals us when we become aware of that.